Beerpens TV, where the truth is relevant. Let us go and see what Mr. Malema is planning for us this week. Mr. Malema, you are wrongfully implying that white man starts violence. The white people on the south point of Africa, known as Southern Africa, reach here because we were running away from violence. But it doesn't mean we cannot protect ourselves. Rightfully so, you said we're not scared. We are not scared. You can plan violence against the white people of South Africa. We have restructured. We've combined with communities that feels about the violence the same as us. Crime in South Africa is now fought along criminal activities, and the racial profiling should be done by you because of the crime committed by black people, not because of crimes that you suggest white people did commit. These people attacked in Port Elizabeth, they white people that was attacked by black people. The violence was committed by black people. This bus full of school children was driven into Western Dam by a black man. Here's evidence that doesn't matter how much farming land the EFF obtains, they cannot make it work. Because here's a nice project for you, Mr. Malema and the EFF. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tractors on a commercial farm that used to work productively. Look, there's even mud on the inside of the mud carts. Why don't you take the already obtained farms that's failing at the moment and make them work, and then come back to the voters and tell them the EFF wants more land because they can farm it commercially? Why do you excite the people that the black man can commit violence against the white man, and that the white man is responsible for all these problems in South Africa? You know it's a lie. You know that apartheid grew from the need of people to protect themselves. You know that there's a lot of people in the moment in this country turning towards each other, irrespective of their race, their culture and their religion, to protect themselves against violent criminals, which in this case at the moment are currently more black than any other race group. Now somebody posted this on Facebook, and I shared it on my wall under all those hearing speechless, boereoorlog, apartheid. I tried to provoke some comments from the people. Since it's a government page, I'm going to take the liberty to open it and read directly from it, because government is open information to the public. www.gov.za, so there's nothing funny about the page, so it could be fake news. It's got the government stamp on, South African government. It talks about the National Rural Youth Service Corps program. Now I just skimmed through it and I couldn't find anything frightening or scary that white people should be scared about this training of the young youth. about 5 years ago, when Facebook's just reached its peak, a lot of white people asked, where is the military training? Why don't we discipline the young children anymore? Why don't we get them to accept responsibility and get organized and work on a routine, fashionable manner that makes them productive? The government started such a program, and if you read through, it's all about training the youth, and it doesn't talk anything about military training. It's all about upliftment of people and getting them ready and organized to be productive people of South Africa. Now, the sad thing about this, if white people start a camp like this outside of military, it will be called Boeramag. But all we want to do is to have adequately organized, productive young people so that we can work for a future of this beautiful country called South Africa. So no, I don't see any fears here. Nothing about this frightens me. It's actually very positive program by the government. I did make an entry this morning about the truth on the whole matter and how I see it, since I'm an average South African person living in a new democracy. I think my deductions to get to the truth will be acceptable to everybody. Cape Town prosecutor has called for a 12-year jail sentence for a 14-year-old gangster who shot dead a rival gangster and has no respect for the law. Now, we all remember that video clip. It was very, very sad. But if we can incorporate more children in such working programs, we can have more productive working farms, and we can then put the past behind us and start looking after ourselves in the new democracy and work towards a prospective new future for all our children. This I felt under Conservation 101. I think this man is very brave, and I would like to have some sort of an interview with him, where he started, how does he raise his funds, the interesting things. The Durban fire is apparently brought under control, and they say that there's going to be millions of rands worth of damage. There may be more likely to be hundreds of millions, if you ask me. Sunday Times reported on the 26th that Musi wants Zille to go. Well, I don't think Helen Zille intentionally invoked any controversy within the DA. There was a relevance in the tweets, and I think even if we go back to Hitler's Nazi era, we will find some positive things to say about the outcome of it. The stigmata of the killing of millions of people and trying to breed a super race overshadows all the good. I agree with that, but I think we can say the same of colonialism. Apartheid, I know for a fact, was to curb violence amongst rival tribes in South Africa, and it came over a long way, and it wasn't necessary evil white man trying to control black people. It was something that was born out of the need of necessity. And then again, evil took over like everywhere else in the world, and it became something ugly. Harry says, hope every disillusioned white go out with her. Harry, I still disagree with you. All black people aren't racist, but every person on this earth can become a racist when he has to fend for his own nationality and his own survival. Nova bosses take pension. There's 1 billion rand. Now we see this type of corruption within the ANC. And it's stealing from the weak. It's stealing from people that trust other people to secure their future in their old age. This is the worst type of theft that can ever be done, whether it's by the ANC, by a black person, by a white person, by apartheid government. It's the worst type of theft that you can do. If you don't have a long-term plan to look after the poor of a country, you have an unsustainable political climate, and the political climate will come to a fall. It's a fact. History has taught us that. Only once that you have an uncorrupt, sustainable economical climate where people don't need to starve of hunger and be cold during the winter, will you have a prosperous economy, like for instance China. Yes, there's a lot of atrocities happening under the Chinese government. I understand. But they are the most successful economy powerhouse at this stage in the world. Now here's something the DA must look at. Azilla's tweets may hurt DA in 2019. It doesn't matter how they handle it. The same thing with Van Tonder from Spur. It doesn't matter how he handles it. It is going to bite the DA in the ass. Just a little revenge plan of my own. Once again, the ANC government and all the powerhouses supporting them is taking away from the poor and making the rich richer. And this has to end. And we don't need to get violence, Mr. Malema. We white people, we've got brains. You dismantle this type of power structure one by one by one until they all go to jail because nobody is there to protect them anymore. That's how you deal with corruption. How you deal with hubrism is a little bit different. But the structure does get breakdown. Sometimes people don't need to go to jail. Depends on how criminal the activities was. But hubrism is a little bit different than corruption. But Mr. Malema, your economical policy is leading to this type of hunger. You are excluding a certain group of knowledge and you want to take control over the economic powerhouse of South Africa. I agree with you that the minerals must vest in the people of South Africa. I agree with a lot of things what you say. But the moment you turn it into racism, you lose all my respect. Because then you're working towards this. This is the end product of any liberation, revolutionary movement in Africa and around the world. If we cannot work together to get a sustainable economy with a working class that is reliable and productive, this is what is going to happen. Thank you. This is Beerpen signing off.